As you're designing, you should always be thinking about your portfolio. When I'm building curriculum for my students, portfolio is the number one thing on my mind. Because as you're learning new skills and you're building your toolbox, you want to be sure that you're building your portfolio showing the skills that you have. So portfolio building should always be at the top of your mind. As we're working through projects as designers, we should be thinking about mock-ups because oftentimes a client can't visualize what it's going to look like in an environment. So it's great to put your flat art into a mock-up to show a client what you're envisioning. In this demo video, I'm going to use the album cover as an example to show you how to use mockups in Photoshop. You can always Google PSD mockups and find a free mockup or purchase for a low price a mockup for something specific if you can't find the free version that you're looking for. Let's jump into Photoshop and look at how you can put your artwork into a PSD mockup. I've pulled up the mockup that I'm providing here, and just in case you haven't used a mockup before, I do want to go through this process. And I am going to use one of my students' paintings. We're going to put it within this mock-up here. Notice there's a layer that says your design. We're going to drop down that arrow so we could see what's on that layer. Basically, there are two layers here that we can add our artwork to. What you're looking for is in this bottom right corner, you're looking for the smart object thumbnail, which is what this indicates. That's where you add your art. So I'm going to go to the cover art first. I'm going to double click this layer. You have to double click the layer itself, so you'll notice what just happened. I was kind of double clicking on the name of it instead of the big area where it's showing the thumbnail. So double click here. I'm going to unlock it. So it's got artwork that's here for placement. I'm just going to turn that artwork off. You wouldn't want to leave it on because it would print underneath if you did end up printing this out. I'm going to detach this art here. I'm going to unlock it here. Notice that it opened like a different file. It's a PSB file. My mockup file is still here. It just opens another file completely that is a PSB. In Photoshop, you don't have to hold shift, but I'm going to make this smaller and I'm going to fit it within here. So if you made your file square, that's where we were going with it. So you should have made it square, and then that way it fits perfectly. It'll scale down. I'm going to go ahead and hit return, make sure that layer's off. I'm going to hit save, Command S, or file save is fine. I can go back to my PSD file and notice it put the artwork in there for me. It even drops in that drop shadow where we could see the reflection within that kind of drop shadow area. And I'm going to do the same thing here with my center artwork. So this student actually made a completely separate circle art piece. You can do that. You can also just place a piece of your art within that circle. We're going to do it the same way. Double click on this, unlock it, turn it off. I'm going to take this artwork, drag it down, bring it over here, and go ahead and center it within that document. I probably would not have put the circle on this unless you want that to be part of your artwork. It's going to be a little tricky to make sure it's perfectly centered within that space. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, Command S, and I'm going to come back here and see how that looks. And there you have it. Now we have our mock-up ready to go. So I would hit save and I would export this as a JPEG or PDF. Just kind of depends on where I'm going. This would be ready for your website or your portfolio itself. And that is how you finish up with your mock-up for your album cover.